bano nabo ab'olusimu
Muchirabi. Kiterende sebo. Come on.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to start. Ladies and gentlemen, you may take your seats. Honorable Minister, you're welcome to today's press briefing. I want to request that you join me in saying an opening prayer, but also to thank God because today is the 31st of December of 2024. May we pray as we get started. Our Father in heaven, we thank you for the opportunity you have availed us to meet again on the last day of the year 2024. We commit the business that's going to be discussed here before you. I ask that your grace will be sufficient and that you provide us, Lord, with the joy to celebrate the achievements that you've given Uganda as our country and the energy sector in particular. In Christ Jesus I pray. Amen. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to today's press conference or press briefing when the sector led by our Honorable Minister will be conducting a very special function, a very special ceremony of handing over a license for the distribution and sale of electricity to Uganda Electricity Distribution Company Limited. My job here is a very simple one, to coordinate who comes and does what. My name is Julius Wandera. I work with the Electricity Regulatory Authority and in charge of corporate and consumer affairs. Having said the opening prayer, cognizant of time, I want to very quickly invite the Chief Executive Officer of ERA to come and make her remarks.
Thank you. Thank you, Master of Ceremonies, the Honorable Minister of Energy and Mineral Development, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, the Chairperson of the Electricity Regulatory Authority, the Chairperson, Managing Director and staff of the Uganda Electricity Distribution Company, the Chairperson, the management and the staff of UMEME present and in absentia, the board chair of UETCL and the staff of UETCL here present, my colleagues, management and staff of ERA, members of the press, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I have the pleasure to welcome you all to this media briefing and to thank you for making time to attend the briefing amidst the ongoing end-of-year festival celebrations. I also take the opportunity to wish you joy, prosperity, and success in all your endeavors throughout the coming year 2025. Honorable Minister, esteemed stakeholders, and members of the press, I extend our heartfelt gratitude to your unwavering support to the Electricity Regulatory Authority during the year 2024. The year 2024 has been transformative for ERA and the electricity sector at large, marked by significant achievements across the value chain that you will be communicating to the public on 2nd January 2025. But Honorable Minister, allow me briefly in summary to congratulate you for growing the power generation capacity to cross 2 terawatts. Whenever we are in those big conferences abroad, other countries brag of terawatts. For us, we've been talking about megawatts. Now you have in your pocket more than 2 terawatts of power generation. Specifically, we are now talking about 2,051.6 megawatts. Honorable Minister, I recall when I welcomed you, you really amazed me. You said, you Mama Tariff, I'll be your minister if you are reducing the tariff. But if this tariff keeps going up, you have already answered it. I may cease to be your minister. Honorable Minister, it's not by my might, but because of the collaborative efforts of the government, of the public, of the consumers, of the private sector, the tariff has progressively reduced during your term. And I invite all of you here on 2nd. You are going to get very good news when she's briefing you on the directions of the tariff for all customer categories. Honorable Minister, you have also worked towards increasing access to clean energy. And again, don't miss the details. Come 2nd. You have also worked towards enhancing reliability of supply. I can only celebrate West Nile being on the grid, but also celebrate now Kabal and Soro enjoying reliable energy. Celebrate that you are no longer lining for dimmed energy, for failure to evacuate or cure, and there's a lot to celebrate. Please make sure you are here on 2nd so that you are able to get the details, so that you relate to the public in the various languages, so that they are able to appreciate themselves. Because all this is because of the commitment of our valued consumers, the government, and the public. Honorable Minister, you shared with me a YouTube of the rollover. They were baptizing you as falsifying the meters, that the prepaid meters are going to stop working. Honorable Minister, I'm happy to report that we have successfully rolled over the electricity meters according to the new standard that complies with the token identifier in the energy meters, as per the Standard Transfer Specification Association standard requirement. So that one you have delivered efficiently. Honorable Minister, in summary, your regulator is no longer only Kampala based, but now the Greater Nile is the Greater North is covered, the East is covered, and I promise you, when you come here next year, the West will also be well covered. So the regulator has moved very close to the consumers so that we can partner with our valid licenses to deliver a quality and reliable supply. Now, Minister, you make me proud regionally. I continue to chair the Independent Regulatory Board, courtesy of your efforts as the chair of the Council of Ministers. I report that we've signed the hosting agreement. I've appointed the staff, and they are here. They are procuring vehicles, they are procuring ICT, and soon you'll be seeing us progressing the regional power trade agenda. Honorable Minister, allow me to report that while we have excelled, there are still challenges to do with the reliability and the quality of power supply, and this has been made worse by events of power theft and vandalism of the electricity infrastructure. I encourage the public and all electricity consumers to ensure that they remain vigilant, to report any suspicious people who are seen around our electricity infrastructure. Honorable Minister, the aforementioned achievements are a testament of the collective effort and responsibility of the electricity subsector in the year 2024. ERA remains committed to fostering a sustainable, self-sufficient electricity subsector that supports the policy vision for total social economic transformation. Now, ministers, you may be aware, we have been actively preparing for the retransfer of the assets back to government following your letter, writing, nominating UEDCL as the party that will receive these assets on behalf of government. This transition aligns with the government of Uganda's decision not to renew expiring electricity distribution concessions and licenses, marking a significant milestone in the sector's evolution. The Electricity Regulatory Authority acknowledges the critical importance of this transition in shaping the electricity subsector, representing a pivotal spot towards advancing the country's energy goals, improving service delivery, and ensuring sustainable electricity supply industry for all Ugandans. The common man down there, my grandparent, is waiting and is trusting us to deliver a reliable and quality supply. Honorable Minister, dear stakeholders, the regulator to date has witnessed transitions from private companies to government of Uganda, as I may highlight. We started with FADISAT, transited from FADISAT on to UEDCL successfully, and there has been notable improvement. Then the Padela Beam Community, Multipurpose Electric Cooperative Society, again we transited to UEDCL successfully. We handled the Bundibujo transition, and as we speak, UEDCL is now managing that concession. We handled the Chegegwa Rural Electrification transition. Again, as we speak now, the government utility UEDCL is managing that concession. We handled the Kirembe Investment Limited, again under your leadership. We've also handled Jacobson to UEDCL under your leadership. We've handled ESCOM to UEDCL under your leadership. So we are not new to managing this transition, Honorable Minister, but we thank you for the able leadership in which you have supported all of these transitions to ensure a seamless, smooth transition. We understand that a transition of this magnitude may raise questions and uncertainties. I would like to give assurance that, subject to good discipline and professionalism, the security of tenure, the security of staff jobs and positions, their welfare, their professional growth will remain the top priority of this sector. I'm pleased to note that in the previous transitions, and I hope the media can capture this very well, over 98% of staff were retained by the government of Uganda Utilities. So over 98% remained, and they are serving in different capacities. So this underscores our commitment to protecting the workforce, provided the employees maintain high standard of conduct and deliver excellent services. ERA, in collaboration with the ministry, through you, the minister, and through the permanent secretary, the head of the technical team, is committed to ensuring a smooth, transparent, coordinated process that prioritizes staff interests while maintaining uninterrupted service delivery. As part of the transition, all staff will receive new terms of employment aligned to the approved framework for operations post-March 2025. These terms are designed to leverage the existing tested and proven workforce, the personnel deployment strategy, the operational systems to ensure minimum disruption, particularly in the initial months following the retransfer of the distribution network to the government of Uganda, represented by UEDCL. This transition also presents opportunities for growth. Staff will grow, for retention and the integration of skilled labor from both Umeme Limited and the UEDCL to form a formidable winning team to serve the country and take the sector to greater heights. Every effort is being made to manage change, preserve institutional knowledge, preserve good culture, and deter bad vices, and as well ensure that employees play a pivotal role in delivering a quality and reliable electricity service. A deliberate effort to establish an optimal staffing structure for efficient operation and management of the distribution network post-March 2025 formed a major focus in the review and determination of the UEDCL license applications, among others. The role of staff is crucial in maintaining service excellence, fostering public trust through this transition, and I encourage the staff of UMEME and UEDCL to stay focused and committed to their responsibility and call of duty as we navigate this change together, as we continue to tap into their commitment during this period of change, so that we continue to smoothly deliver a quality and reliable supply. The authority will continue to provide guidance and oversight to ensure seamless transition, efficient and professional transition, and let us embrace the opportunities this transition presents and work collaboratively towards building a stronger and a more resilient electricity subsector for Uganda. Let me take this opportunity to sincerely thank the board, management, and staff for your dedication and your dedicated service to the people of Uganda for a period of 20 years during the tenure of your ending concession. I would like professionalism of the staff of the entire electricity value chain, because if UEDCL is doing well and UETCL is not doing well, we don't deliver. If UEDCL and UETCL are doing well and the distribution segment is not doing well, we don't deliver. But because you collaboratively, efficiently, serve selflessly, we are able to deliver. Looking back at what the distribution segment was 20 years ago, we have certainly progressed very well and remain committed to attaining an even better performing distribution segment for the benefit of the electricity consumers. I take this opportunity to thank the government, through you, my minister, the Minister of Energy and Mineral Development, with your colleagues, the Minister of State for Minerals, the Permanent Secretary, the leader of the technical team. We do appreciate you. The boards, the chair of boards across the entire value chain. My colleagues, the captain of the industry, the CEOs, the ones that are inconvenienced very early in the morning and they are always there. I want to thank you, my chair and board of ERA, my team members of management and staff of ERA, the licensees and your entire staff complement, the electricity consumers, the reason we are here and the reason we wake up every morning to come and serve you, and the public for their continued support, which has enabled us to achieve the progress and the handover that you will be undertaking today. Finally, Honorable Minister, allow me to thank, through you, His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, for prioritizing the energy sector, for prioritizing the electricity supply industry. This great support that we receive at the various levels of decision making is very, very vital and well appreciated. As I conclude, allow me, Honorable Minister, to now have the pleasure of inviting my chair of the Electricity Regulatory Authority, Dr. Sarah Wasagali Kanabi, on behalf of the entire board, the authority, to come and make her remark. Thank you very much for God and my country.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Energy and Mineral Development, Honorable Dr. Canon Ruth Sentamu Nankabirwa, the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Energy and Mineral Development, the Executive Director and staff of the Media Center, the Chief Executive Officer, ERA, and your management and staff present, the Chairperson of Electricity Distribution Company Limited Board and your members present, and the management, the Chair Board UETCL, the media fraternity, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Today, we are here to witness the formal handover of a license for distribution and sale of electricity on the national grid to UEDCL, Uganda Electricity Distribution Company Limited. Honorable Minister and distinguished guests and members of the press, I would like to inform you that in accordance with Regulation 18, Section 2 of the Electricity Application for Permits, Licenses and the Tariff Review Regulations of 2007, the Electricity Regulatory Authority received the following application from UEDCL. We received an application for license to distribute electricity in Uganda. We received a license to sell or supply electricity in Uganda, and we received an application for tariff performance parameters. These performance parameters, among others, included the overall distribution loss factor. It included the distribution, operation, and maintenance costs. It included the days lag, the target uncollected debt factor, the minimum new customer connection targets, and the minimum standards of reliability and quality of supply. The application for the license submitted by UEDCL were intended for the period following the anticipated natural end of Umeme Limited Distribution License and the supply of electricity concession and its associated licenses. The authority undertook the necessary review process for UEDCL submissions, including consultations with the key stakeholders, who included the ministry institutions, namely the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, the Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs. Additionally, the authority engaged the Umeme Limited and the other ERA licensed companies operating in the generation, transmission, and distribution segments. In keeping with our commitment to transparency and stakeholder engagement, the authority convened a public hearing that was held on the 22nd of October 2024 at Imperial Royal Hotel in Kampala, with some participants joining online via Zoom, Twitter, YouTube. We attracted over 3,000 participants. The public hearing attracted various stakeholders who, among others, included Uganda Manufacturers Association, Uganda Small Scale Industries, Uganda National Chamber of Commerce, the academia, water and electricity consumers representatives, Lubaga Mirrors, Private Sector Foundation Uganda, State House representatives, the Norwegian regulator, the Zanzibar regulator, licensees, staff, ministries, departments, and agencies. This provided an opportunity for the electricity consumers and the general public to present feedback on objections regarding UEDCL's application. In accordance with Section 10 of the Electricity Act as amended, the authority at its 420th meeting considered and determined UEDCL application. The authority at this 420th meeting received and resolved to approve the award of the license for distribution and sale of electricity for the national main grid in Uganda to UEDCL. I take this opportunity on behalf of the board, management, and staff of ERA to thank you, Honorable Minister, for your continued support and guidance throughout the process. I also thank the various stakeholders for their valuable input that formed part of the decision-making process. As a regulator, we now embark on the journey for monitoring and enforcement of compliance with the license terms and conditions to ensure sustained, efficient service delivery for socio-economic transformation of Uganda. Permit me, Honorable Minister and distinguished guests, to now invite the chair of UEDCL, whom we are going to continue monitoring, to introduce his team and say a word before I invite others. Chair UEDCL.
Honorable Minister, Honorable Minister of Energy and Mineral Development, the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Energy and Mineral Development, my colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, it's a very pleasant day for me. Together with the management of UEDCL, submitted an application for license in April, 8 months ago. That application was prepared in-house by a team led by Mr. Paul Mwesgwa. MD, please stand up. I thank you so much and your team. ERA is aware that all those who have applied for license before were using consultants. We did those applications in-house using our team. So I thank you so much, MD and your team. I want to thank ERA, I want to thank the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development for the guidance you provided since April. We had not come to closure even until yesterday. I did make promises to the Honorable Minister because we held a meeting yesterday in which more guidance was provided. I thank you so much, Honorable Minister, and I thank the ministry staff as well. Thank you so much for the guidance. Thank you, Era, for the guidance. I did promise yesterday that we shall see a seamless transfer of the electricity distribution system from Wimeme to EDCL. All the necessary conditions are in place, so we will provide a smooth and seamless transfer. We obviously will continue to need your guidance, but we have provided evidence that by taking over other licensees, that we can reasonably manage the process. So you should rest assured. I know you are going to talk about, and the CEO has already talked about how we are going to manage the Unene staff. They are part of us. They are going to be part of us. We have a strategy on how to manage that, so nobody should get worried. And perhaps somebody else will talk about that, because I know it may not be very wise not to talk about it. So because I find that very, very important. So I think it is important that somebody says how we are going to handle them. They'll be fine. I want to promise that the transfer will be seamless. I want to promise that Ugandans will continue to have their homesteads lit. I want to promise that manufacturers and other businesses will be provided power. There will be steady supply. There will be no problem. And we are going to be doing this together with ERA, together with the ministry, and together with other service providers across the value chain, generation and transmission. So the public should not worry. We have been doing this for a long time, except that we have been doing it outside of the major cities. We have been supplying power over the last 20 years. We are not new in this. So don't worry. I want to thank the minister. I did make a promise. I will fulfill it. I will fulfill the promise I made yesterday. So thank you very much. Yeah, my name is Francis Tumuherwe. I'm the chairman of the UEDCL. I've already showed you my managing director. He has a team behind there. I don't think there's the chief engineer, there's everybody out there. You want to stand up? Yeah, we'll talk to the press later as well. Okay, thank you. And yeah, colleagues and members of the board, Director Lydia, Director KK, I think the other directors aren't here. Yeah. We have a good team, we'll manage anything they did. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Francis Tumuherwe, the chairperson UEDCL. Honorable Minister, permit me to introduce your own, who is going to be selling power to UEDCL, represented by the board chair. Mr. Kwame Ejaru is present with us. Kindly stand up. Thank you. So, Honorable Minister, permit me at this moment to invite the Permanent Secretary. The Minister of Energy will invite you to deliver your remarks on behalf of Government of Uganda. Thank you very much for God and my country. the Honorable Minister of Energy and Mineral Development, the Honorable Dr. Ruth Nankabira Sentamu, Board Chairpersons, UEDCL, UETCL ERA, the Commissioner from the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, Engineer Abdona Twine, Commissioner Rural Electrification, all Managing Directors and CEO, Electricity Regulatory Authority, and the technical teams here, the Fourth Estate, our ardent partners. Each time we invite you, you come. I am privileged to, before I invite the Minister, to make very brief remarks. Following the decision of Cabinet to allow for UEDCL to manage the operations of the concession that Umeme is currently running, I recall a meeting that the Minister convened, and she gave us marching orders. It was a strategic meeting. We were required to do three things. One, ensure that we have a clear roadmap for this process. Two, ensure a clear governance structure that will support the process and the transition. Then three, as we do that, the objective was to just keep on the lights. She said the lights must stay on. Keep on the lights. So following that strategic meeting, as the Minister of Energy and Mineral Development, under the leadership of the Minister, we proceeded to put in place a clear governance structure to guide this transition. We constituted a steering committee that continues to provide oversight to this process that is chaired by the Honorable Minister. And as part of that steering committee is the Minister of Finance, the Attorney General, but also the Chairperson, National Planning Authority, and of course, ERA, UEDCL, and a few other MDAs. In addition to the steering committee, where oversight is being provided, we constituted a joint technical committee. And the joint technical committee was largely to work on this roadmap, but ensure its efficient implementation. The joint technical committee mirrors the steering committee at technical level, where the permanent secretaries sit, but also the CEOs of the entities have highlighted. When we sat as the Joint Technical Committee in our first meeting, we noted the need for us to have another level of a committee that we termed the Coordination Committee. On this Coordination Committee sits Umeme and UEDCL. So the managing directors of Umeme and UEDCL sit on this committee with the ministry providing support to ensure that they are dealing with the details around the transition. They go down to the granular level of how the ICT systems of UEDCL and Umeme will interact. That's how structured we are for this transition, a clear governance structure. And as required by the Honorable Minister, we put in place a clear roadmap. And we've ensured that we align and implement this roadmap to the T. So today's ceremony is a critical part of that roadmap, because we committed to ensure that UEDCL is supported with the licenses to continue with this business. So we want to thank the Electricity Regulatory Authority for ensuring the timely review of this license. There's been a lot of back and forth to ensure the license process is done and is done efficiently. To keep on the lights, to keep on the lights. I also want to thank UEDCL. We've been working very closely with the team at UEDCL. We've seen the effort that the team has put in, led by the Managing Director under the leadership of the Board Chair and the Board. And we are confident, as the Minister of Energy and Mineral Development, that the journey the company is taking on will be efficient, that the company will continue to ensure excellent customer service, and that the customers will continue having a good experience in accessing this public good, electricity. So, Honorable Minister, at this juncture, based on the marching orders you gave us at the time, we have largely delivered on that roadmap with your guidance, of course. Honorable Minister, you're aware of those many meetings we've been having for you to guide us and continue giving us a clear strategy on this very important matter. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I want to use this opportunity to therefore invite the Honorable Minister of Energy and Mineral Development, who continues to ensure we keep on the lights. Thank you very much.
Please sit down. Yeah. All the speakers have elaborated protocol very, very well, and I want to stand on that protocol. I respect all of you, and good morning to you all. Thank you for turning up this meeting when the country is almost on leave. These are not public holidays, but when you go to offices, you may not find people there. The mood is for public holidays as we see 2024 leaving and as we prepare to welcome 2025. I hope you had Merry Christmas, and I want to use this opportunity to wish you a very prosperous, peaceful 2025 year of developments and achievements. But I must be grateful to 2024 because it has seen us move many projects, as I will elaborate on the 2nd of January 2025 here at Media inform the country how the sector has performed and what next that the country will expect us to do. So today is really to make sure that the public is informed of what is happening regarding the concession that is about to retire. Umeme concession has been on for quite a long time, 20 years, and people are anxious. They want to see how we are prepared. And I want to thank the CEO of the Electricity Regulatory Authority and the chair of the board for the work that they have done. And you've heard the CEO elaborate on how the process has gone and how the country is getting prepared. So for us in the ministry, we are there to implement directives, presidential directives. That is our priority number one. And one of the directives is to see to it that every concession that comes to an end naturally is taken over by a government entity. And so, Umeme concession is one of those that Cabinet made a decision that when time comes for natural retirement, there will not be any further renewal. And that left me and my team to get prepared. And days can move. We've been counting years, months, but the time is tomorrow. Come 31st of March, we will be seeing a handover and takeover from Umeme. So we are standing here to inform you how we have prepared ourselves. I am not worried at all. Because of the directive of the President, we have prepared government agencies. And the CEO mentioned some of the concessions that retired and were taken over. And they are being managed by our own companies. Uganda Electricity Distribution Company is the one now managing Naruwari and Chira. They are the ones managing Isimba, Karuma. Those are big plants, big plants. They took over Namamve from Jacobson, the 50 megawatt plant. They are ready. They have assured me that they are ready to take over whatever work that we give them. So we are not worried. On the distribution side, we are remaining with a few of them. And as UEDCL widens, and as we bring on board staff from Umeme, we shall decide whether to continue with Wanareko. Wanareko's license, I think, is expiring next year. 2028. Yeah, we will be ready. And the good thing is that Western Nile is connected to the national grid. And we are now grappling for last mile connection to make sure that the load centers are served with power. And so that has prepared us that has prepared us to take on the mantle, to be in charge of power distribution. I want to thank the chair of the board of UEDCL, who has committed himself, and he has reiterated that commitment here to make sure that service delivery will continue as expected. And a mention has been made about seamless transfer. Yes, that is our wish and that's our plan. Seamless transfer requires certain factors to be observed. That UEDCL has the financial capacity to always respond to whatever call. You will not suffer. So the Minister of Finance is working round the clock to make sure that this company of ours, which is wholly owned by government, UEDCL, is also prepared to offer a seamless transfer. You may realize that now, as we move towards the end of Umeme concession, there are some challenges which are inevitable. Those challenges are consequential to the transition. They are consequential. We expect them, you know, because UEDCL has not yet gotten 100% authority. But Umeme is also leaving, is parking. By 2024, and we are welcoming 2025. You know, when you are parking and then a bell goes for assembly, if you are not careful, you may forget some of the things in the dormitory. Okay? Those are the challenges that are inevitable. Power cut, for example. In some areas, they may be experiencing some power cuts. You know, Ate power has gone. What is happening? Those are the, you know, challenges that are transitional challenges that once the takeover and handover is done, UEDCL has vowed to work on them. And Minister of Finance is looking for the money that this UEDCL will need to sustain the lights on, to sustain the affordability of the power. So I wanted the country to be aware of this and to pardon us as a ministry because of those inevitable challenges that come by with the transition. The assurance for example, during this transition, something that will not be touched. You've heard the CEO era mention the affordability of power. As it has been, we will continue making sure that we distribute power which is affordable. The existing tariff packages as approved by ERA, such as the life tariff that people have gotten used with, the declining block tariff. The more you consume power, the less you pay. If you are an industry, this declining block tariff encourages you to produce more, consume more power. It's like you are buying my power in bulk. Once you are buying in bulk, I can reduce. But if it is just one, that one can be expensive. So this is the declining block tariff. And then there is the time of use tariff. Time of use tariff arrangement, which was also initiated by ERA. If you choose, for example, to consume power when the rest of the country is asleep, they are sleeping, but power is there. I would rather sell it to you cheaply and I get some money rather than sleeping with it. You sleep with the power because you don't want to reduce the cost. Okay? This time of, use is to encourage people to do certain work when the rest are sleeping. I hear there are countries where you can't tell the difference between day and night. People are working. Industries are working. So that we have had an assurance from the regulator that it will remain. Then on electricity access, this is outlined in our Vision 2040 and our national electrification strategy. We are aiming at universal coverage 2030. For us, we dream big. We don't fear to dream big. You rather dream big than not dreaming at all. This is 2025. We are almost entering 2025. I am talking about 5 years to come. And what I would like to see is 100% access to electricity, whether national grid or off grid, but at least the access. Through expanding the national grid and also creating mini grids. That's our dream. And we are moving by it. And I know that with the electricity access scale-up project, which we are closely monitoring, we will achieve. We will see many more connections being done. Our target is to at least make 400,000 connections every year, right?
Yes.
UEDCL. Yes. Every year. That means that at least you will be able to do 30,000 or 35,000 connections per month. So that is team no sleep. Team no sleep. People want electricity. There is peace in the country. People want to enjoy. They want to watch football. They want to enjoy a cold one. We want to go to a saloon and you are not stranded in the dryer when power has gone and there is no fuel in the generator. Okay? Team no sleep. 400,000 connections per year. I will begin talking about it so that as you move, you will be remembering. Then on quality and reliability, The regulator will, of course, oversee projects that expand or rehabilitate infrastructure, including substations, transformers, lines, you know, because we don't want power supply to be disrupted. As a mitigation measure in this, you have to focus your eyes there. Check on the substations. The old ones must be rehabilitated. Those lines, we have to call upon people to be really responsible. I see some people who beautify their areas by planting trees, and those trees grow and they touch the lines. Can you imagine? And you have to wait for a service provider to cut your beautiful trees. Why don't you clear these lines? Because they affect supply of power. They interrupt, they disrupt service delivery. So it will take us who are in charge of service delivery and you, the consumers, to make sure that in your own farm, your own home, those lines that pass by are not disrupted by your beautiful trees. I want to extend my appreciation to Umeme Limited for your commendable work in loss reduction. Umeme's concession may have been expensive. 20% return on investment. And that is what really made us to say we better begin afresh. 20% return on investment is hard. But Umeme performed when it comes to loss reduction. Comparing from where they found us, where they took us from, I think it was beyond 38%, to now where we are about 15% power loss reduction. And power loss reduction involves investment in the system to make sure that you have a quality system, among other things. There was also improved revenue collection. People used it to steal so much. The stealing is still there, but because of the introduction of the prepaid meter, that technology has helped us to reduce on the theft. So we applaud Umeme. We shall also continue to make sure that every individual who is consuming Uganda's electricity pays. We started on this by amending the 1999 Electricity Act, and we introduced stringent penalties for those who vandalize and those who steal power. We will continue monitoring it. Those we shall get will serve as examples. Okay? We are going to implement the punitive measures for those who are stealing power. This power is costly, and as more villages yearn for connection, we must get money from this power and then extend the distribution infrastructure. So we have to punish those people who are still notorious. Umeme also invested in infrastructure development and also system improvement and advancing electricity access during their tenure. We have seen this, and it's good that, like the chair of the board said, we are not leaving Umeme out and then create a new team. No, the network remains, but it will be under a new system. but majority of the people will stay. We are finalizing the recruitment strategy, and I know that I will be coming back to really explain, to allay the fears of the staff. The staff of Umeme and UEDCL should not panic. There is no cause for panicking. Just be steady, be disciplined. I have no room for indiscipline. If your file is dirty, please don't disturb me. You've disqualified yourself, whether you are from UEDCL or Umeme, because UEDCL's license expires. They are getting a new license. New license may come with new terms. No room for indiscipline. Whether you are the only one with that technology, you will go. So, we are going to open up for competition within the family first. That's the priority. So stay on job until I tell you to go. Because we've been talking about seamless transfer. Stay on job until you are told, hello, leave the chair. Stay on job. Whether you are in UEDCL or Umeme. We don't want darkness at noon. We don't want. And we pray that God helps us. So, there will be no cause for alarm. We have, of course, UEDCL has worked on a structure which they presented to the Ministry and Electricity Regulatory Authority, and the Ministry is so far satisfied. There are new positions that have been introduced for the betterment of service delivery. But there are those that have been dropped, again for the betterment, efficiency of service delivery, because we don't want duplication. Duplication is a cost which can be seen through the tariff. And me, I told my CEO I will not stand here with her to announce a tariff which has been reduced. Because, increased. Because the president directed me to make sure that industries consume power at 5 US cents. And then the domestic consumers also must enjoy. So I am happy to notice that since we joined this ministry, we have been reducing the tariff progressively. And I pray that we continue with that. So there will be some positions that will drop, about 191, but all in total, we will be talking about 2,712, including the new slots that I have talked about. The old ones are 2,000, about 2012. So there are very few new ones that we have introduced. And thank you so much, UEDCL. We hope that it will be implemented very, very well. This concession, the good thing is that it has a provision within itself that guides the transition. I want to assure staff of Umeme and UEDCL that we are following that. So those who have been, warming up to go to court, litigation, we have no time for litigation. We are going to make sure that we follow each and everything. You better think about doing something else. We are going to follow what the concession provides for. In section 2.7, 2.8, they guide us very well, and that's what we are going to follow. And I had started seeing media capturing fake news, false news, how the ministry lied, the president, we are using Umeme, they expected Umeme to really go and they see an empty space and then recruit new people. Please, media, be careful with what you put out. People are already in that transition. They may read some articles and collapse. Okay? We are really taking care of you, all Ugandans. Umeme staff are Ugandans. They have experience. They qualify. And the network is wide. UEDCL has been managing a network. They are adding on. So they are not going to go to the street to pick people. We have to use the Umeme. When you see the staff remain because they are there in your communities, don't say, hey, we thought these people packed. But we are seeing this guy still here. What is he still doing? That guy is important. He's giving you service. Okay? The intervention that government has done is to make sure that the service that Umeme has been delivering is going to be delivered at a lower cost. A lower cost. And so, UEDCL will have to concentrate on efficiency for service delivery. Because inefficiency is also a cost. Inefficiency is a cost. So, UEDCL is responsible for recruiting the staff. I have no doubt from what they have presented so far that the process will take place and in a free and fair manner. So I urge all the staff to remain calm and committed to their duties. Then I know that people will also want to know about the buyout amount. Does government have money? Don't worry. You just watch the space. Government cannot take this critical decision not to renew a concession and then you fail to pay. The two do not match. The fact that this is a directive and it is a cabinet decision is enough guarantee that the money will be found. So the Auditor General, the Office of the Auditor General, is progressing very well in the study to determine the buyout. We were just, the regulator was just giving an average figure. But as we move towards the end of the concession, we will determine critically that figure for buyout. What the regulator is now doing is to regulate Umeme in its investment into the system, because the buyout, the end buyout amount will keep on fluctuating if you don't regulate. So they are regulating, and this regulation, it comes with the challenges also, because if Umeme is being told don't invest so much, but there is a need somewhere there, and UEDCL has not yet gotten the money, that gap is the challenge that is affecting our seamless transition. But it is short-lived. It is short-lived. So if you fear smoke, you don't enter the kitchen. But if you are to be in the kitchen, those local mafumbiro, you have to encounter smoke. So, and I told them yesterday that we've already eaten our cake. We don't expect it on the plate. We've eaten our cake, we cannot have it. We decided. And so there are those balances that we have to do as we are moving along. That is regarding the buyout. I know you might also ask a question, but this UEDCL without money, how do they manage? We have a budget for them. And we expect that even before 31st March, UEDCL gets money so that their stores are full to be able to do RRU, rapid response. The rapid response unit in UEDCL means the stores are on standby for any need. So I think with that, we are now ready to hand over the licenses. And I've heard from the regulator and the board how UEDCL applied 8 months ago. All the processes have been followed. Bambi, if you were preparing to look for any loophole, sorry, the loophole is not there. The transition is going to take place. And therefore, in line with all that we have heard, I have the pleasure to hand over the licenses on behalf of Government of Uganda. And I want to invite representatives of the board and management of UEDCL to come forward and receive the licenses for distribution. There is that license for distribution and license for sale of electricity in the authorized main grid area in Uganda. Thank you very much, and may we all work together to ensure a bright, secure, and sustainable electricity industry for social economic transformation of our nation, for God and my country. Thank you very much. Mubimpi ekigenda maaso olwaleero, gavumenti ng'eyita mu minisita w'amasannyalaze n'obugaga obw'omutaka egenda okukwasa layisensi eri ekitongole kya gavumenti, kampuni ya gavumenti egenda okusaasaanya amasannyalaze, distribution. Naye ate waliwo ne layisensi endala era gye tubawa ey'okutunda amasannyalaze nga tuguzaani, tuguza ba consumers. So license abagenda okugakozesa license ezo bbiri, eno yemu ku enkola erina okubeerawo nga tulaba ekitongole ekibadde ekigaba amasannyalaze endagaano yakyeweddeko, ate nga ekitongole ekirala kigenda okukwata omulimu ogwo. Omulimu ogwo si gwa kukolebwa mu ddakiika emu oba lunaku lumu. Twatandika dda okweteekateeka kubanga endagaano gye tubadde tugoberera, abawumeme gye babadde bagoberera, erimu era akawaayiro akatuteekateeka. So okweteekateeka kwatandika dda. Omubalirizi wa gavumenti ali mu kubalirira ssente mmeka umemeze yateekamu, abagenda okukola omulimu nabo bateeseteese bulungi, abakozi banaabeera ku mitendera gitya era banaabeera bameka. Naye ng'ebigendererwa ebiri mu kino byonna tetwagala mmwe abanywa amasannyalaze muboneebone, kubanga gavumenti anti ekyusa okuva mu umeme okudda mu UEDCL, n'olwekyo eggwanga ligenze mu nzikiza. Kikafuuwa ekyo tetwagala kibeerewo. So abakozi ba umeme ababadde bakolera wansi wa umeme bannayuganda tugenda kubatwala, kubanga we bakoleraawo era ofisi yateekebwawo nga yeetaagisa. So amasannyalaze gateekwa okubeera nga gagenda mu maaso okugabibwa, okuggyako abasiiwufu b'empisa. Abasiiwufu b'empisa bwe banaaba nga mwebali, fayiro zonna umeme erina okuziweereza UEDCL ng'endagaano bw'egamba. Fayiro yo bw'eneebanga erinamu peegi ey'ekizikiza totutawaanya, gwe tetukwetaaga. Ne ku sayidi ya gavumenti eno mu UEDCL, kubanga tugenda kubagatta, fayiro yo bw'ebanga erimu ekizikiza bambi totutawaanya. ekitongole kino kikulu nnyo kiteekateekeddwa bulungi era nga president bwe yatulagira nti buli ndagaano eggwako ebitongole bya gavumenti company za gavumenti zitekinge over. N'olwekyo baganda bammwe ne bannyinammwe ne bataata bammwe abali wana abali mu bitongole ebyo temukalubya mirimu gyabwe basobole okutuweereza obulungi. Essente zijja kusasulwa umeme zeetaddemu. Mu kiseera kino nga tugisiibula era tulina okwebaza umeme. Ekizibu kya umeme kyali nti endagaano yaabwe yali ya bbeeyi ate bw'eba ya bbeeyi n'amasannyalaze gaba ga bbeeyi. Kakati president n'agamba tubaleke endagaano yaabwe bweggwako bulungi tubasiibule naye tuddemu tukole arrangement ennungi eneeraba nti tulina saving nti wakiriko amasannyalaze tugenda kugassaako wansi kubanga kitongole kya gavumenti kyekigenda okubanga kyekigaddukanya. N'olwekyo abawumeme tubeebaza we baatusangira nga nno tuli bubi amasannyalaze gaali gabula si kuvaavaako naye nga omanyi bw'oba ogatambuza agamu gatoloka ne gava ku mutimbagano amasannyalaze gatoloka ne gagenda tewali agabbye naye gatolose power loss n'amasannyalaze gatolose system nkadde biki umeme neetandika okuteekamu essente. Tubeebaza nti twagenda tulaba amasannyalaze agatoloka nga gakola ki nga gakendeera naye ate waliwo n'abalala bo bagabbanga bubbi mukyalimu abatono abakyabba amasannyalaze naye umeme eyo neeteekawo enkola nti sasula kozesa bwe sente z'osasudde bwe ziggwako tolina masannyalaze. Ekyo ne kituleetera okuba kati nga kumpi 9 mu 6 ku 100 amasannyalaze mugasasulira naye n'abo abatannasasulira temweyibaala kubanga etteeka erifuga amasannyalaze twalikyusamu ne tuteekamu ebibonerezo ebikakali gwe tukwatako ng'agabba ojja kuba kyakulabirako eri abalala. Abawumeme tubeebaza nti we baatujja ne we batulese kibadde kirungi naye ate n'ekirala kye tubashuwalinga ti era abakozi ababadde mu bumeme ab'empisa ennungi tugenda kubasigaza. N'olwekyo olwaleero tuzze okubategeeza nti UEDCL yakola application yasaba mu mateeka eweebwe license esobole okugaba amasannyalaze mu bitundu gyebadde teri ebibadde biddukanyizibwa ekitongole kya umeme era board eya Uganda Electricity Regulatory Authority nefuna okusaba kuno nekwekenneenya si lwakuba nti kitongole kya gavumenti mbu kinaawaayo ebitakola nebeekenneenya era baba kubanga tebasaanidde era ebadde egenda katutema egambe nti please biganye eno kampuni gye muwaddeyo tejja kusobola. N'olwekyo olwaleero tuyozaayoza Uganda Electricity Distribution Company ya gavumenti nti baayise ebibuuzo baayise ebigezo bya era basaanidde okuweebwa omulimu guno naye ne ministry ey'amasannyalaze egenda okukola okulondoola okulaba nti tetuwemuka kubanga waliwo abali wali abatutunuulidde omanyi mu luzungu tubayita ba sadists ye ng'ekibi kye kimusanyusa bw'ofiirwa ye aba asanyuse aba aseka abo tebabulamu. N'olwekyo tubamanyi nti gye bali tugenda kwefuumuula tubaweereze amasannyalaze gabenga tetujula twagala bantu babenga beesiima bwesiimi. Ekitongole ekya Regulatory Authority kigenda mu maaso n'okulekawo omukisa ogwo bw'obanga oyagala okunywa amasannyalaze ku bbeeyi eya wansi banno bwe baba beebase gwe situka okozesa amasannyalaze ng'abalala beebase ekiro ku bbeeyi egenda kubanga nsaamusaamu. Ate ekirala banno bwe baba banywa matono gwe kati wuuta buwuusi kitegeeza gaziya bizinesi zo z'okola owuute buwuusi buli lw'owuuta amangi kiringa omuntu akuguzeeko ebintu ebingi osalako kubanga bw'okola ekibalo kiba kijja n'olwekyo ebyo regulator waffe agenda kubirekawo. So olwaleero ng'ennaku z'omwezi 31 nga tumalako 224 tukwasa UEDCL licenses ezo. 225 tewali kwekwasa, naye era nja kukomawo wano ng'ennaku z'omwezi 2 mbasensulire oba mbabuulire obuvo obwa ebyo bye tutuuseeko mu ministry eno ne agencies zaffe ebikwata ku masannyalaze, ebikwata ku mafuta, emiwendo. Tugenda nakwogera ng'enkola yaffe bweri mu mateeka. Tugenda kulangirira omuwendo gw'amasannyalaze ogwa 225 olwa Katonda n'ensi yange.
Thank you. So, Honorable Minister, this is a distribution license to UEDCL in accordance with the law.
First.
The second license, Honorable Minister, is for sale of electricity, handed over to you. To hand over to UEDCL. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister.
Tewali kwekwasa.
Congratulations.
There is this one, Chairperson.
Thank you.
Chair, there is this for you and
So this is for photographs.
Oh, in front or what?
I can hold it. Walk away, Kanumam. Okay.
Abamu bagenda ku overnight. 1, 2, 3, 4.
So my name is saying something I want to say. For how long should Uganda expect that power blackout? You spoke about power cut. Second, what is the service investment plan? Which people areas are you starting to invest in? Remember, we had an investment return of 20%. What about this year at the table? What is their plan? And about the transition committee or members from Umeme and the other agencies. Is it going to work beyond 1st April? Thank you.
Okay, Kakati, I talked about the consequential challenges that may come. Therefore, I cannot tell you the period of the hiccups in power supply. Okay, power can blink. I cannot tell you for how long. But yeah, we mix words because please don't write about blackouts. They have terminologies, but for us, when we don't see electricity, we call it blackout. So he's talking as myself, a lay person. So that I cannot determine. Then on the return on investment for UEDCL, Ministry of Finance is negotiating the money that we are investing in UEDCL. That will determine how costly this power will be. But the benchmark is that it is going to be lower than Umeme. It's going to be lower. If Umeme has been on 20% return on investment, UEDCL should not be on 20 or 19 or 18 or 15. It has to go lower, really. And the Minister of Finance is yet to announce, because they're the ones who are looking for the money to invest in UEDCL. And that money will give us the total cost. And so we'll be able to determine how cheap power will be, how cheaper power will be. What was the last one you asked for? What is the meaning of transition committee? The transition committee will be there until transition is complete. Next.
Madam, thank you, Honorable Minister. My name is John Division. I wanted to find out what's the number of women staff. How many women staff?
Women staff were 2,000. 2,415. Yes.
I wanted to compare with
UEDCL, they are just 495. They are. Yeah.
The other question is about what would be the loss target for UEDCL going forward?
They will come back and tell you their strategy. They are working on it. Media Center is our house. So today we are just focusing on our handover licenses.
Since you could answer me, we target to have connections 400,000 a year. And you see that our access to the national grid is very low. And if we are trying to get to universal access, do you think what can 400,000 bring us to move away? Because we have been at about 20 something.
No, we are at 60% access.
The national grid.
National grid is 22%. But we want power, whether it is solar or hydro, right? As long as it is power and also clean power. Okay? And so we are encouraging people to use this sun. Can you imagine? There are countries which do not even see sunshine. And construction of the national grid is very expensive. To say that the national grid will reach every village within 5 years, it will be a joke. But at least mini grids. And these days, solar panels are cheaper because of the global narrative of renewable energy. So they are subsidized. So I'm encouraging all of you to work with me. If you put solar panels on your rooftop, on your house, I will count you as somebody who has accessed power, because you will not be in darkness. So when a country declares 100% access, it doesn't mean that 100% on the national grid. No. It's 100% because people have been able to get access to power, whether you have privately done it as a patriot, you've worked with government, and you have invested on your farm, everything is well lit, we count that. But the national grid has moved. I don't know where we were in 1986 with only 150 megawatts as planned, but the actual was about 60 megawatts. I don't know what the access rate was At that time, maybe it was 3%, because now we have 2,000 plus, and the national grid is at 22%. You can imagine with 100. So we are moving. National grids are not easy to expand. They are costly. So we encourage mini grids.
Finally,
Thank you very much. New vision.
Finally, what will the future of women be after? Can they apply for a license?
Can you please look for Mr. Sayastino or Patrick Vitatule, chair of the board, and forward that question. Okay.
I'm Isaac Mwagaba. My question to
From
New Vision.
Hey, New Vision, New
Yes.
Vision, New Vision.
Yes. For me, I'm just giving the perspective of the local person.
The other one was not local. Okay, local person.
Yes. Where I stay, you see some power lines coming from Uganda and going outside the country.
Yes.
Yet, you get 5% cent, or rather 5 US cents for industries when our local people cannot afford power. And every time you do any mechanism, you don't reflect in
That you really understand the sector. I don't know what you are going to write because you really need help. Because renewable is being advocated for globally because it is clean. And so when you say it affects the ozone layer, then I get confused. So you need time. We need to have a session with him. I wish you can come second, because on the second, we will be talking about many things. But lines going to the neighboring country, we have the Eastern African Power Pool, where countries join hands and share resources. We sell power to Rwanda, to Kenya, to South Sudan, to Tanzania, to DRC. We are now constructing to enter there. For you people to go and do business there, but also Africanism demands that we work with our neighbors. Thirdly, because we have not constructed a distribution line to Chiboga, yet we have a line closer to the border, because power is expensive in its generation, transmission and distribution, I would rather use this power, sell it to the neighbor, get money, and construct a distribution line to my village. That's economics. World over, people share their lateral infrastructure that is constructed, roads, you know, moving from one border to another, crossing borders. So, sector, you've mentioned so many things which are not true. I hope you come on the second, or you can share. You can get a contact from. I am so concerned because I'm a teacher. I really want to move with everyone. I move with everyone. So we will tell you on the 5th, for example, 5th December this month, the national launch for the cooking technology, the subsidies for cooking technologies in the whole country was done in Chiboga district, where government has subsidized for gas cylinders, cooking facilities, 40%, 30%, 50%, so that your local people can afford. So we are not doing nothing. We are doing something. We just need to maybe improve on our communication so that everybody gets to know what we are doing. Yes.
Honorable Minister, Nyamanya Gangenze Peter Wandeminga nkolera Delta TV. Fa bakulira mu Kampala tulina ekintu kifaanagana kye bayitanga load shedding. Nga amasanyalaze gabeerako ne gavaako the next day. Naye obuzibu bwe tusinze okubeera nabwo Uganda gye trust mu bitongole ebidukanyizibwa Bannayuganda obanga Uganda ebiteekamu 100% finances. UEDCL kyajawulo kikyereese ekigenda okuleetera nga umeme kyebadde ekola ng'ogyeko abannajjeera babadde bakaaba buli lunaku. UEDCL kikyereese ekigenda okutuleetera ffe okugyesiga okubeera nga tisi amasanyalaze tekagenda kutuzaayo mu myaka gire before 2005. And n'ekirala, Honorable Minister, sente z'amasanyalaze units mutusuubiza ekya n'ekulozika. UEDCL okujja egenda gateeka ku 2 oba ku 100 eyanzizanyo.
Ennaku z'omwezi nga 2 ngenda kuyimirira wano jangu olwo olunaku lwakulangirira amasanyalaze. Naye owulidde nga mbagamba nti buli mwaka gakka. Ekyo kiwulire oba tokiwulire? Kakati gw'oyagala tugase tuleme kutambula. Kubanga amasanyalaze bwe tugatunda ne tukola waya z'amasanyalaze ne tusobola ozigula. Kubanga mwe tujja ssente kakati bwe tuba tuggyeko 1.2 oba 1.5 bwe tugatagata wonna buba buwumbi biliyoni 3.2 nga tusazeeko katono. Tetwagala ate kulemalira ddala tuleme kutambula kubanga twagala tusaleko oba mmeka. Awo tuba sekita tetambula, sekita yeeyimirizaawo mu masanyalaze geetunda. Wuliriza ojja kuba bulungi. Wuliriza amasanyalaze load shedding byogambye umemengejja kubanga gaali tegamala nga bababegerako obubegezi. Abennajjeera mufune okuva ku ssaawa bweziti okutuuka bweziti ate n'abeeka Mwempe bafune okuva era nga balangirira ti okuva ku ssaawa bweziti abeeyo temugenda kuba na masanyalaze. Lwaki? Tegamala. Masanyalaze tegamala mu ffumbiro nga tegaliiyo. That's why ensi nga South Africa babeera mu load shedding. Uganda is better than many African countries because tulina regulating obulungi ate ne policy ey'okukola amasanyalaze nayo tugiriko nti by 2040 I want to see 52,481 megawatts in the kit singa sente banazimpa. Ekyo kyenjagala ndabe. So naawe tobigattagatta nnyo. Ate ekyogamba nti kampuni z'Abannayuganda temuzeesiga bulungi mukyenenye ekyo kubanga kati university tulina mmeka Bannayuganda nga tuba traininze okulaba nga ffe tulina the best electricity regulator on the continent for 5 years. For 5 years. Ekyo oba abennajjeera mukiwulira ti abakugu mu kuregulating amasanyalaze mu lukalu lwa Africa be Uganda nga bakola ki? Mujja kuba bulungi ne chorus bwatyo yagenda nga abamu tebalina nga abalala balina naye kati kumpi n'olwekyo mukakkane mujja kuba bulungi. Samota please. From
Deep-Heart.
Okay.
Yes, I just wanted to question whether there is a possibility that on the 1st of April, Umeme will still be running this industry. Why I'm asking that is because in their agreement.
Until out of order.
License to you history.
Give somebody else a microphone.
Why I'm asking is because
it's not justifiable.
It's in their books it says
it is not justifiable. Ekyo tekirowoozebwa na kulowoozebwa gungi nawe weenenye. Tebalina license.
Can I make my point?
Eh?
Can I make my point?
No. Because it doesn't make sense to me. You will whisper to me. Nkuwonya okuswala.
Over to you.
Biweddeyo kakati jangu nyogereko naye wali nkuwonya okuswala. Obozereti kubanga tuli wano abasajja tubakwasizza license. Ani asobola okudisitulikira abasajja batalina license.
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister. Colleagues, like the Minister said, on the 2nd, she will be here to announce, preside over the announcement of the tariff for the first quarter of 2025. Thank you so much for coming, and thank you so much for asking your questions. Any remedial questions, the regulator is present to answer, should there be anything that's remedial. But let's stick to the license awarded today. Happy New Year. God bless you. Be well. Thank you so much, Honorable Minister. In the unlikely event.
Yeah.